How's it going? I'm Bub Tosh, and I'm going to share with you some rigging tips and the ways that I like to throw the Cali roll from Yamamoto. It's a new worm they've designed. Over the last 3 or 4 years in bass fishing, people have went more finesse. It started with the Senko years ago, and Texas rigging it or Wacky rigging it, drop shotting it, dart heading it. Whatever you did with your Senko, you fished your Senko in a finesse application. Since that worm has been designed, there's been a lot of worms that came out, the Zoom Finesse worm, the Zoom Swamp Crawler, Jackal Flick Shake. Every company has a finesse style worm, and they all serve a purpose for a finesse presentation. As we're getting into the spawn, fish are coming off beds, they're starting to guard fry. Everybody knows they kind of downsize their baits. Everybody starts throwing watermelon, green pumpkin, watermelon red, and you start looking and targeting these areas. These fish are fished for by a lot of guys. They see a lot of baits, so sometimes it takes a finesse presentation to catch these fish. This worm was designed to replace all of those worms. Yamamoto, the company that brought you the Senko, has now brought you an incredible finesse worm that can be rigged any way and is deadly when in a finesse application. The first way I like to throw this is on a Wacky ball head. A lot of people call them Wacky jig head. It's a finesse jig head. They make them out of lead or tungsten. They usually have a little bit smaller hook, thinner wire. You throw them on lighter line. Some people make a heavier wire one so you can flip it on a bait caster and heavy line. I like to Wacky rig this, just hook it right in the middle. If you hook it flat like that, it's going to fall because it has a tail. It's going to fall a lot slower. It has a wandering action. And as you shake this and it starts to scissor, because it has this flat tail, as you're working this worm Wacky rig and it's shaking it and it has the wacky action that all the other worms has, it starts to go to the side and swim. Because of this tail, it's almost like a glider. And it causes this worm, as it's scissoring, as you shake and work this worm, it's going to start taking off to the left and start swimming away. So it has a little bit different presentation. It moves a lot of water. If you hook your worm a little bit different and just turn it just a little bit, now the tail's straight up and down. It'll fall a little bit faster and it'll wave more water, so it'll push more water. So just with the way you rig your worm, if your tail's up or your tail's down, is going to change the way this worm works through the water. When I'm looking for where is the perfect place to throw my Wacky rig Cali roll at the Delta, when I come up to the Delta and I see the little pockets or areas that look like there could have been a bed there, or if I'm starting to see the fry, if I'm seeing fry around and there's fry garters, you might see a big ball of fry and a fish just every once in a while swimming through the fry kind of nonchalantly. Those fish are guarding. Some of those bigger fish are out a little bit. I start throwing this around. And again, this is just a Wacky rig plastic worm, but it has little features and it's so finesse that it's going to get the bites that other bigger, bulkier plastics won't. Because it's made with the Yamamoto plastic and the high salt content, it's got a lot of action already in this bait. You don't have to do much with it. Just look for the right cover, the right areas where those fish have spawned and that fry's at, and you're going to capitalize on big fish that other guys drive right by.